witnessing and have been witnessing for some time the emergence of a state-orchestrated, state-sanctioned, genocidal anti-Semitism. And these are not words that I use easily or lightly, but there are no other words to describe the emergence of this state-sanctioned incitement to genocide, whose epicenter is Ahmadinejad's Iran. The toxic convergence of the advocacy of the most horrific of crimes, genocide, embedded in the most virulent of hatreds, anti-Semitism, propelled by the publicly avowed intent to acquire nuclear weapons for that purpose so as to eliminate Israel in one single storm, and dramatized by the parading in the streets of Tehran to the encouraging shouts of death to Israel, death to Zionism, death to America, the parading of Shahab 3 missile, draped in the emblem of wipe Israel off the map. That's what the media tells you it says, and they're right. But it adds the words which they don't often tell you. As the Imam says, namely that this is a religious obligation to wipe Israel off the map. Denying the Nazi Holocaust as it incites to a new one. Speaking of the state of Israel as a cancerous tumor, of the Jewish people as evil incarnate, as a kind of prologue, if not justification for the genocide that is to come. And ordering, as the Argentinian judiciary recently determined, ordering the mass terrorist bombing of the Jewish community center, the AMIA, in Argentina, and where arrest warrants have been issued by the Argentinian judiciary for former President Rafsanjani and other members of the Iranian cabinet at the time. This direct and public incitement to genocide is a standing threat not only to Israel and world Jewry, but a standing threat to international peace and security. And I can tell you, as someone who has presided over prosecutions with respect to incitement to genocide, that Ahmadinejad's incitement is as direct and as public and as clear and as compelling a violation of the Genocide Convention as any that I've ever seen. And so the question becomes, what must we do? As Charles Rangel put it, we will be asked by succeeding generations, what did you do when this genocidal hate was acting itself out? And let me close very briefly with a number of remedies that we can now take and indeed should have taken. Number one, we should be supporting the international arrest warrants issued by the Argentinian judiciary for the arrest of Rafsanjani and other named officials in the Iranian government at the time and Hezbollah operatives. Argentina should not have to stand alone. If the struggle against impunity means anything, is that we stand with Argentina. We stand with the international law and the international community in bringing these murderers to justice. Number two, the Genocide Convention of which Dorigold spoke and which is set out so compellingly in the document. The Genocide Convention is a convention which state parties like the United States or Canada not only have a right to enforce, but have a duty to enforce. And so there are a panoply of remedies that can be undertaken. I will just mention two. The first is, as the document sets out, to refer Ahmadinejad's genocidal incitement to the United Nations for action. The second is that any state party to the Genocide Convention, which includes the United States or Canada, can take a complaint against Iran, which is also a state party to the Genocide Convention, for its violation of the Genocide Convention before the International Court of Justice. Not only is there nothing stopping any state parties from doing this, but indeed we are obliged to do this. And finally, we should be referring Ahmadinejad's genocidal incitement to the International Criminal Court, which equally prohibits in its treaty the direct and public incitement to genocide. Now I want to say that my colleague Alan Dershowitz is leading an international group of lawyers to bring Ahmadinejad to justice before the International Criminal Court. going to close now by just saying, in case we have, as we usually do, some skeptics in the room about undertaking legal remedies. There was a lot of skepticism about the undertaking of such legal remedies when it came to Milosevic of Yugoslavia and Pinochet of Chile. Those remedies were undertaken and they were brought to justice. Ahmadinejad's incitement is worse than any one can find on the contemporary scene today. He deserves, and we are obliged to bring him to justice and to give sanction to the Never Again Convention.